then let's start this process. All right, I know you're thinking, my car sounds like crap. That's not why we're here. We're going to start going through all the parts here in the garage because I've been accumulating for too long. I'll catch you up with highlights, and we'll do a walkthrough once we have my basic tools out of the way. So we're going to get to binning. Thank you for bearing with me in my first breakdown of all the parts. Normally the videos probably won't be quite this long. Maybe they will, who knows. I'll try to preface in the beginning of how many things are actually in the video so you have a general idea. I'll do my best to timestamp things, but it's kind of the point of this is actually trying to help you guys get stuff and see stuff before the game. So you got to work with me and watch the video. So if you want to get that first leg up on everyone else, you're here with me now. If not, you'll see it when it comes up, or you might see me post it maybe in the back of the video. But thanks for bearing with me. I'm Kevin, RX7parts.com. First one is an intake shroud. Your ram air, it comes in here through your front bumper. This one has a couple of patches in it. Not sure why. They didn't cut it or anything, so this could be removed fairly easily. And then you just set, as we're going, just set them back kind of in the general area they were. Next one is another intake shroud. Imagine that. We have a lot of these. So that one over there had, there's a patch right here. This one doesn't have it, but it does have the opening. So I don't see any major breaks in it. We got a chip right there. Looks like something was chafed off or trimmed for some reason. So, but that'll be on the site. All right, we got battery box. Cracked right there. Battery box. All right, we got some car shop glow taillights with the harnesses and the module. I don't know if you can get a good glimpse of what's in it, but they're the LED panel all the way through. They're going to need a solid buffing, but otherwise they're pretty nice. It looks like they've already been clear coated once before just by looking at them. All right, next one. We got a 9395 taillight. Let's see if I can see any heat marks in it. Looks like we got some cracking right here in the top edge. So, and then it looks like I do see some light heat cracking in it. So it's hard to tell. Needs a good buff. All the light connectors are there. These will probably come off and get sold separately. They're the taillight sockets for them to actually match into the car. Brackets there, brackets there. So overall, not too bad if someone's looking for just a nice one. Brake booster. We got some rusting around the center. Left-hand drive has the spacer, has the plunger for the brake pedal, and this is just a random hose. There's no check valve in it. So looks like we have light rusting. There's definitely some type of vacuum on it, so, or push. I hear air being moved. So brake booster. Pair of pulleys. Honestly, these might just go in the trash. This one looks okay. So that might exist. This one looks like it's too gouged up. Oil fill neck, OEM. Nothing broken. No chips. No seals. Looks pretty good. A very good condition. OEM knob. Try and see if I can clean up right there. Looks like there's a little scuff on the side there and there. Otherwise, that's pretty good condition. It has red stitching. I'm not sure if red stitching is significant. I'll be looking that up to make sure. This might be aftermarket, but 1 through 5 and reverse. All right, we have this RE-Amemiya front bumper. I believe it's an A spec. I'm not exactly sure. We got a crack right here. I think this is an aftermarket one. I believe I have an entire one for sale locally to me in Spring Hill, Florida, that is actually authentic. So if you're looking for an authentic version of this, hit me up. It also needs some repairs, but if you want authentic, sometimes you just gotta fix it. All right, next one is a right-hand drive passenger door card. The handle, sorry, not the best view for you, but got to do a little bit of checking. The handle seems like it's here pretty decently. It's missing some screws or something. It's definitely missing a screw or two, so, but intact. I don't see any cracking around the handle, so that'll probably get pulled off of this door card. The door card itself, we have a dent right here. I don't know if you can pick that up or not. So everything else is looking decent. Nothing too crazy around here. So outside of this dent right here that I already pointed out, this might even be able to be worked out because you can get to the back of it. A little bit of heat, a little bit of effort might bring that out. And then this is the door sill. Just needs to be put back into place, and then it folds over like a staple. In the back, looking at the back of it, no major cracks, no major disorientations. So overall, this is probably, I'd say, an 8 out of 10 door card, maybe 7 out of 10 because of the dent, but otherwise in pretty gosh darn good condition. So like I said, the handle will probably get separated from this, and there's no pocket and there's no clip. Vacuum chamber for the engine bay, both nipples are good, nothing too fancy about it. Code on it's PA6, here we go actually, N3G220339. So if you're looking for that particular one, there it is. Got the gas neck filler, or the surround when you put the gas setup in. And then you got an OEM. I think it's just an aftermarket gas cap. I don't think it's anything. I don't think it's OE. We'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that's not OE. So this is the rear strut hatch cover. Just clicks over the hatch cover, so it looks nicer. This is the cap for the wheel cover, center cap. See if it's strong enough for, and it's not brittle, so you can put in like a bin or something. We got a center console here. This over here means we're on left-hand drive. If it's over here, it's right-hand drive. This is always towards the center of the car based on the side. So looking at it, I'll see if I can get some light on these scratches. So it's definitely not a perfect one. Trying to get light on stuff, but it's not exactly working with me. Not exactly a perfect one. Definitely some scuffs. So have to sand buff. This was a 93 to 95. You can see it has some rubber texture on it. So it probably needs to be sanded down to make it look nice. Looks like damage-wise, we're looking at, there's one chip right here on the top. Again, if you sand it down, you might put a tiny bit of filler in it. You got a couple of screw holes missing. So this is definitely not your best version of this, but it does exist. And here's your side-by-side of your left hand and your right hand. As I was saying, the lighter goes towards the center. So that would be how they are. So this is a textured. Let's see if we can get you some view on the texture. So overall, I'm gonna do a nice close-up on it myself. It looks pretty decent. I'm not seeing any major chunks out of the front, so most people would be fairly satisfied. Looks like there's a couple scratches right there around the surround. Most people wouldn't see that. A little tiny chipping right here, right there. Most of this wouldn't be noticeable. There's a bunch of little tiny chips in it. So looks like someone was struggling to get it out, and they kind of either pried right there, or they just were fighting and it chipped a little bit. On the inside edge here, we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the screws are set in, so you'd have to do something about that. Epoxy up or do some repairs. There's some do-it-yourselfs online for that. Otherwise, not too bad of a piece. We are moving into a pair of front canards. I do not know what body this is for. We'll have to figure that out when we go to list these. But some nice carbon canards. I'd assume they're 99 spec. There is a little chip in them right there. I'm not sure how easy that is to see, but it's right there. There's a little chip in the clear, and that one looks good otherwise. One little chip in the clear right there. Nothing too crazy, just some carbon canards. Up next, another set of carbon canards. Wow. This one looks like it, I'm not sure if that's dirt or it looks like some chafing. It's been getting pushed on. Same there. These look pretty much exactly the same. I think at one point I may have got these myself to do like a double canard setup. That's not like some. All right, these ones are some metal canards. Aluminum maybe, but looks like they've been bent a little bit, as you can see, so they're gonna need some love to get them right. But this is just a fun little one if someone's looking for something mildly entertaining to give a little bit extra. Rear wiper motor. Woo. These don't sell too often. I don't think very few people really care about them. So let me know in the comments if you care about these. I want to see a bunch of no's because I need interaction. Come on, guys, interact. Let's see what is in here. This looks like an antenna assembly, I think. Very hard to tell. Yeah, it is. This is the antenna ring here. So this is basically the antenna cap portion. This doesn't look like an RE. You heard it here first. We don't know what it is. Yeah, this box. Sometimes we just get a pile of stuff, and sometimes the things that are in it don't matter, or they're broken. Sometimes that's part of just buying someone's bulk lot. So anytime you want to reach out, tell me if you got a bulk lot you'd like to get rid of. I'm not the best prices on the market. I'm going to basically give you real market prices, fair market prices, tell you if it's something that's worth your time to sell. If it's not worth your time, you can shoot it over to me. I'm normally somewhere in the 30 to 40% of market margin. So I'll give you what the real prices are most of the time. I'll give you a list. I don't mind helping you guys identify things, or just if you want to message me and say, hey, how much this is worth? If it's a huge list, I'd like you to do a little bit of due diligence, so I'm not helping you with this massive list. But if you got one or two every once in a while, I'm here for you. So just so you think about that, remember, we do buy, we do trade, we do sell. I really hope it doesn't start raining. That would be bad. First video, rain catastrophe. All right, we have some 99 spec vinyl, thick. This is thick 3M, 2080 film. This is basically a kit that someone was selling for a while. If anyone knows who he is, you're welcome to tag him. I haven't seen him post them in a while. I have 3 sets, I think, here. I was going to convert some of my 93s. I just never got around to it. Price will be in the setup there in the comments. The 99 spec lights is Jacob Rudolph. So if you're looking for that person, if he still makes them, we appreciate you. Thank you for making something for the community. That goes for all of the people out there that don't run a whole business doing something. They're just helping with 1 or 2 products. Really important to us. Anyway, back to it. Stock intercooler. We got some pretty bad gouging right there. Probably could be picked back out, not a big deal. I don't see any major issues with it. And we got stock plastics or stock tubing. Pretty much it is what it is. Power FC will be sent out to Michael Gagning for repairs because it's missing a lid. Everyone's biggest request, a mirror. Got a mirror. It's pretty messed up on it. Let me get closer. I switched formats and it's not probably a good idea. So we'll get back to close. All right, mirror. You see a bunch of scratching right here. Definitely has to get repainted. Ooh, this one's terrible. Ouch. So it's going to need a lot of love to get back to good. Mazda Motor Company, Japanese stuff on the bottom. I would assume this is right-hand drive. We got a cut line here too. So this one needs a lot of love, but worst case scenario, if we end up not listing it, there will be a base on the website. But don't ask for the base if it's paired up already. If I do have any bases here that aren't paired, you're welcome to ask for the base alone. We got a couple more lights in here. Here's another mirror. Objects, blam, blam. Broken again. Just a rough mirror overall. I believe this would be left hand. Here's another one. Looking at the bolts, making sure. Another base with this one. This one actually has a connector on it. So check yourself out. Look at you. That's you. You're beautiful. All right. There is a base, but it goes with that other mirror that was down there. Tan. So let's see. Is it big buckle? Nope. Normal buckle. Normal buckle. Tan. Left, I think. Left. So this is on the left side of the car. Tan. Random miscellaneous stuff. I believe brake stuff. Throttle cable. It's missing 1 bracket. Old, cracking, but it's intact. So if you need a throttle cable, an example of random stuff we get. 1 10AN hose. Do we know what it's for? No, it just came in a box. Hey, and we're back. We have another battery box. Looks in decent shape. We have a battery box tray. Looks in less decent shape, but it's fully intact. Actually, it's actually okay. Looks like we have a broken tab right there, but it's still there. And everything else looks like there's a break right there, if you can see it. Right there. Otherwise, it's a battery tray. Then I just grabbed this out of the yard as I was walking back across, because, you know, there's always something laying somewhere. This looks like pieces of wheel well. I don't think either piece is complete, and I don't think they go together. Oh, L and L. Never mind, they do go together. So somehow or another, these pair together. I think it's like that. Anyway, left wheel well. It's been ate up a little bit. You can see right there. But if someone was desperate and they wanted to fix her up, it is the components. So I know I will get a message as soon as someone sees this one. Steering rack brackets. They seem to be intact, not bent. There you go. Sure that's yeah, it probably does sound like crap. Sorry, we're still learning. Bracket. I believe this is left-hand drive. Yeah, definitely left-hand drive. Up. The button actually looks pretty good. That's normally someone's big concern is how does the button look. Everything else cleans up or you can paint it, but it's very good condition. So I would say that's definitely a nice piece. You just got to clean up here. Just so you know, if you didn't, you can remove this. Do I remember how? I do not, but I believe this does come off fairly. Wheel speed sensor. Let's see, I'll tell you the numbers. Let's read them out loud. FD054370X. Igniter. Nothing much to it, just an igniter. Right marker. Right yellow marker. In pretty decent shape. The yard sale continues. One of the door rubbers. All the rubbers are going to have to get laid out, inspected and whatnot. Everything that's a rubber will have to get laid out and inspected, so don't really... I'm not going to go through them individually. It'll take too long. A very messed up set of rear lights. So these would be great if someone wanted to do like a carbon overlay over them or do something custom with them, because this one, I think, they have a sticker on them. And I am not good with a rubber wheel. I'll own up to this one. This one was me. Yeah, I didn't think the rubber wheel would destroy the lens that fast and not get the sticker off. Could have used something else, but I ruined a good set. Well, the other one's actually decent still. It just needs to be polished and remove the sticker. So, but if you're interested in these, DM. We got a steering wheel, cruise buttons, all the buttons, nothing seized directly. That's not where the bolt goes, but we can put it there for fun. Overall, this steering wheel needs a lot of love. I'll do a quick run around of the edge just so you can see it, but it's not very good. It's not terrible, but let's see right there. It could be cleaned up to be a reasonable steering wheel. Definitely better than nothing. The airbags are a little bit harder to ship, so if you're local, we can make them come together. Door rubber around the window. Door rubber around the windows. Another door rubber around the windows. I believe that's door rubber and door rubber. So those are all some type of door rubbers. And here's the actual window liner piece. So that's all of those. Fan relay brackets. Pretty nice. Doesn't look powder coated, but definitely it's painted black. And you got a door handle. This would be right side door handle. The latch is a little bit bound up, so it definitely needs to be worked on. It's not breaking or anything crazy, but it's definitely not holding super well. So feels okay from here. So something's being odd, but everything seems to be there. The spring is doing its job. So not too bad of a door handle. Rotary 13B1. I believe that's the company. Satin silver. I know I've seen them. They're at 7 stock quite often. Nice satin silver one. Everyone's favorite way to throw a rotor right here. We all know it falls out after a little bit of use. So enjoy your keyring while it lasts. Okay. Right side vent. Looks like we're missing three of the tabs are missing, and this one's probably about to fall off, and the plastic's broken. So this is definitely a double-side tape version, and there's no grill. And it looks like about the same story, except for left. No grill, missing multiple brackets, and the plastic clips are broken. If you know where to get the plastic clips for this, definitely put it in the comments below. This is for all the T56 guys that for some reason need a Tremec shifter. I don't know why you would need this, but here it is. Can't tell which side this is at the moment, but this is for the rear quarter plastics. It goes up near the seatbelt area there. Here's a seatbelt catch. Holds down the seatbelt. The number on it is 9701137. I do not see a left or a right, and I don't know if it is left or right. I think it's just the same thing on both sides. Next is some eBay 99 Spec lights. They are not in perfect condition. They have some scuffs on them. So and this one's even missing its wiring harness. But S13, B11, 12, something that's already on the site. We pulled it for someone that just got thrown back in the garage. So I believe this was pulled for a local, and then we didn't end up using it. But so I don't know if this was broken on the listing, but that's the type of things that happen when stuff gets pulled. So this has the removable cap on it. This is a sad day for this divider. May it rest in peace. We will still try to sell it though. So if you need a divider, it still has its springs in it. Oh, it has one of the springs in it. It looks like it was cut for a 4-point roll cage at some point. So, or probably maybe a full roll cage. So if you don't want to ruin one for your own race car, here's a good example of one that's available. Pretty scuffed up, but as you can see, big old cuts. But it'll still be on the website because everything helps everyone. I think we're on to the part. Oh, goodness. So we're on to the part of the show that we have ran out of most of the small stuff. And I'm just going to walk around and we're going to show off all the things that are laying out around the premise here and just kind of give you details on what I see and how they look. So we'll be right back. All right, we're looking at a pair of right-hand drive rears. So I'm not sure how many people actually know the difference between the bins and the seats, but what you're going to notice is there's a big old pad right here with the seats, I'm assuming. So if someone's right here and they hit their hip on it, it's softer. But you're going to notice there's a seatbelt bolt, and if you ever try to reconstruct these for bins, they don't fit very well. So if you're swapping the bins or swap them out, you're going to need to notice that they are different panels. This is part of a full set. It's a 3-piece set. Bins, quarter plastics is one set, or quarter plastics with padding and seats is the other set. So that's just a little bit of education there. We'll get into what this one actually looks like. It's pretty rough shape. You got a gouge here, gouge here, gouge here. A lot of the time this piece right here is broken. In this case, it's not. It's not end of the world. Most of the time, by the time you put your door sill over this spot and it's all covered up by carpet and everything, it's not too noticeable, but it's still not good. There's some gouging here, which is very noticeable. You will literally see this is right next to the door. This is door rubber goes right here. So you would see all this. So this is a pretty ugly piece in overall. You can get them reupholstered, and some reupholster guy could make it look decent. They do this padding piece right here does separate. So if you want to get someone to reupholster it, they could match your seats, whatever you end up redoing your seats with. Here's the matching component for the other side, also in pretty rough shape. So these aren't your perfect example. This would probably go with a bad set of seats, and then basically expect the person to reset them, reupholster them, and just come out with a better product. So this is a good core set. Pretty much everything's here. Nothing's broken.
I'm trying to center it.
Okay. All right. So next we got a set of bins. They need tan bins, naturally. They need to be cleaned. They always do. So the big question when you're buying bins from someone is that most people don't think about is, does the latch catch? In this case, no, neither latch is catching. So these are a little bit worn. It's not really end of the world stuff. You don't really hear them chattering when you're going down the road, but it is nice to know that you're not hearing this bounce or rattle, because some people are really trying to make a nice car, and I understand that. Normally when someone's trying to buy something, I ask them, what quality do you want? And if someone says minty, I essentially say that's really hard to find, and I'm normally the guy finding it. So this one does have a keyhole. There is a chip over here. Otherwise, for tan, outside of this needing to be cleaned, it's in pretty good shape. Neither bin is cut, which is kind of a big deal. Flip it over this way. We do have a broken clip here, broken clip here. This one's intact, broken clip here. And it looks like broken clips back here too. So when you go to install this, you will have some issues with that. We have a crack right here. So this will need to be plastic welded, or else this crack is going to keep on extending. So in the sense of bins, they're tan. They're here and they look good in the car, but they definitely are not. They're not your minty set if you're looking for a minty set. On to the next set. These ones are black. They need to be cleaned. We get a bonus in them. It's always nice finding something extra. This is a left-hand drive map pocket in pretty rough shape. We're missing where the map pocket lid is supposed to click here and open and close. That's not there. We got a hole right here. This is borderline garbage. This is about the only good piece on it, which in the sense of things, if you put this in, this would look nice. Even if you had a map lid that could cover this and you didn't care if it opened, you could technically get away with having it as a pocket and look complete. So I won't probably throw this away, because someone that's just trying to get complete can make that happen with this. It's just not pretty. So it definitely, on the scale list, it won't be very high. Next one is these blacks. All right, here's a good example. I don't know if you can tell, but here, maybe, yeah, you see how these don't open? That's a perfect example of the latches are latching on these. So this one isn't going to be making a bunch of noise going down the road. Yeah, that one's actually pretty good there. That one's strong. So it needs to be cleaned up. Naturally, they always do. I don't get them in the nicest place. Normally, I'm finding them out of a garage sale or something like that. So we'll flip it here. A little bit harder to see cracks in this. Both bins, that's nice. No cuts, no batteries been installed. We're missing one tab here, another tab here. I think that's it on the bottom. You can always tell me that I'm wrong in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, because I learn from you guys. I always learn from you guys. Otherwise, it needs to be cleaned up. I think that's actually a good set of bins, outside of it being very ugly at the moment. On to the next one. Bringing forward a left side fender. How's that? All right. We have a vent with a grill. So most likely that'll come off, because this fender is really not in that great of shape. It's been scuffed and bumped and moved one too many times. We have been rolled very heavily here. This is a pole. This is not just a roll. This is a full-on pole. So this is definitely probably going to go end up finding a drifter or someone that doesn't care. They just need something in their car for now. That's a hard pull, but it can be cleaned up. That's probably the biggest complaint on that one. Let's look at it on the back side. Nothing too much to see here. The plastic clips are going to be broken, as they always are. We do have a grill on this vent, so this vent will probably be useful, but I don't know how well you can see that. You can see it's flat. It's rolled flat, so it's been pulled. We'll go to the next one. We got another left side, also rolled flat. We got a little bit of rust over here. Looks like it's actually pulled so much, and it's actually twisted right there. So that is actually removed from it. So this fender's probably on the borderline trash side of fenders, unfortunately. Once they start doing that type of thing, there's not a ton of buyers that want to play weld and fix broken. But if you're local and you want to play games with it, it's probably pretty cheap in the sense of fenders. We have a sunroof full assembly with motor. This also has the harness here for the motor that goes to your sunroof light. This will make its way in, plug into your sunroof light. So that's where your button is. That's your off and on right there. Power. So big problem with this one is we got some rust right here. So you'd have to have someone to patch up the rust. I do futz with the rust. I normally try to figure out how bad it is before I send it out to you guys. I try to make sure I find the things that are known for rust, especially the things that disappear after you put it in. So you got some rust here, you got some rust here. Flip it around, not too bad. So not a perfect example, but still, it all exists. So there's your rust right there. This one seems not to have any major rust. I don't see, maybe there's a couple scuffs right here that have really, really light rust. A little bit, tiny bit of rust there. We are missing the motor here. So there's a good chance, since this one doesn't have any rust, we'll probably move the motor from the other one to this one before we list it. Or if you already have a good assembly and you don't need a motor, this is probably good for you. This one's almost always rusted. These ones it's just the type of metal it is. So otherwise, this one looks in pretty good shape. That bolt could probably be replaced. I'm not seeing anything majorly wrong with this one. Obviously, when we list it, we'll get a little bit more personal with it. But for you guys, looking pretty good. Koyorad. It's definitely already lived a life. So when we list it, probably won't be super expensive in comparison to a new one. 20 AN fitting already on it. Just normal hose up here. And you got a drain right there. Front subframe. Not much to explain about a front subframe other than it's intact. These do come out of wrecked cars from time to time, so I don't always know. It could be a LS swap car, K swap car, 4-rotor, 3-rotor, whatever have you. It could be out of one of those, so I don't always know where it comes from. So there's always a chance that you get it and it's bent. I've had this before. I try to take care of you if I can, because I do used parts, and used parts happen. So let me know if you ever buy something from me and it's questionable for some reason. If you can show me it's questionable and it makes sense, we'll figure it out. But overall, subframe is subframe. On to the next one. Tan slick top headliner in pretty decent shape. It needs to be cleaned. That's always going to be the story. We got a little bit, if you can see that up here, you got a little bit of a dimple right here from probably storage somewhere. That most likely won't be noticeable once it's fully installed and you got your sun visors in, all that stuff. You won't notice. Got a tan dome light, no cracks in it, just needs to be cleaned. And I got visor clips and covers. I don't know if I have the visors around yet, so these may be listed individually. They may be listed as a set. Staying in the tan theme here for a second. I think it's not quite the last tan thing, but the next tan thing you see won't be quite as pretty as this. And this is not pretty. So you can imagine what the next one's going to be. So we see some dimples and divots here. Obviously they need to be cleaned up a whole bunch. Got a bunch of dimples here. This will be cleaned a whole bunch, put out in the sun, and we'll basically see what we get at the end of the day. When we look at one of these, we try to the biggest thing is looking at it and seeing if we see any major cracks. So I'm not seeing anything crazy wrong with it right now. There's no cracks here. You just got door dings and door dimples here from maybe an aftermarket seat. We're obviously missing our cover there. Coming around back, nothing too wild here. So left-hand drive tan. It's a pair, so we'll just move right into the other one. Also very dirty. Looks like a mechanic, a rotary owner owned this. So we'll clean this up, go through the exact same process, just wipe everything that we can, probably steam clean them, and then put them out, get them real soaked and see if we can get any of the dimples to raise. If we can, it could be a pretty nice door card. As of this moment, you have to have some imagination. But overall, the main substrate is here. And here is the last of our tan bits for this video. It's not very tan. But basically, there is a couple of how-to videos on how to take a panel and convert it to black. There's a couple of good paints out there. You can ask on any of the Facebook groups. You can DM me. I'll shoot you a link of what I've been told does pretty good. So let's get into the actual part, tell you if this is actually a good panel regardless of the color or the presentation there's the piece that I was talking about earlier, the little black panel I had. Here's one in tan. You can clean these back up. It's a lot of effort, but you can get these back to tan if you're desperate for tan, that is. Clips wise, we're looking pretty good. The actual metal clips look like they've all been stolen already. So this is fairly bare. But in the sense of a component, this is actually pretty nice. Everything's here. This just needs to be painted or cleaned all the way down. We'll do the same inspection here. I'm not seeing anything crazy wrong with them other than a bad adhesion. So they just need to be cleaned. This one actually has a couple metal clips on them. I don't see any major breaks in it. So if you're looking for a good set of tans that you're willing to do the effort on, here they are. Or if you'd like to convert these to black, like I said, there is some good how-tos on how to make them look pretty decent. This one goes with a divider from earlier. It came from the same set. It was in a roll cage vehicle. So what I believe happened was, he might even comment on the video because he watches. So what happened was this all got trimmed here. This is on your edge with your bins. I believe what he did was he made it where he could install the bins and keep them and still have his roll cage, but be able to remove the panels because it's such a close trim point. I don't know if there was a gap here. I'll see if I can get him to comment in the comments and say if there was a gap or not. If not, I'll ask him privately and try to note it. So, but that trim is right there. It's quite a bit missing, maybe a whole inch, which would normally be underneath the bins. Let's look at the rest of the component to see what else is messed up. We have another whole missing piece here. Again, I don't know once you put a divider in here if it would actually be noticeable, but it's still missing for everyone else that doesn't have a roll cage there. We have another one of these pieces here. This one's starting to flap off. It's just, that's kind of how you end up finding them. They're plastic welded on, but they end up falling apart. So there's that piece. Coming to the back, we got some metal clips on here. Everything's pretty much here other than the fact that pieces have been removed by an owner, not by a wreck or damage from anything other than literally an owner had to make clearance for a cage. Looking at this one real quick, this is the matching pair. They will be sold as a pair. Again, same thing. There's actually nothing wrong with them other than the cut here. And this one actually doesn't even have the cut here. So it's just this cut here that makes it soak underneath the bins. Again, I'll try to get the original owner to make a comment or at least give me a private message. Next up, we have a pair of right-hand drive door panels. You got driver panel here. This is the right door. Missing all your components here. They've already been removed. Let's see if our map lid, nope, our map lid is not good. It is intact. I don't know if it's picking up the epoxy in the camera, but there's some epoxy. So someone already tried repairing it a little bit. It sits right. So like in most of today's realm, we're not trying to use the map pocket. Let me know if you do use your map pocket or put something in there. I'm actually curious who does, because I covered mine up and I basically wish it never breaks again. But otherwise, we have a texture here. This looks like it's fully intact other than the map lid itself. Pocket is fully intact there as well. Door card is actually looking pretty decent. We have a little bit of dimple right here, which is probably from a racing seat or some type of wider seat, because that's about where you start getting your dimples. And then otherwise, this door card looks pretty decent. I'm not seeing any major, I would say this is pretty high up there on quality other than that right there, which will bother some people, but in most cases, it's not too bad, especially if you already have a racing seat in your car. Here's the matching door piece here. Oh, wait. No, this is not. I am lying. This is actually a left-hand driver. So the left-hand drive variant of what I just showed you. So this is not a matching pair. I just wasn't paying attention when I started. So this is your left-hand drive driver. Let's go over this. You have a little bit of scuffing here, right here, and right here. A little bit of scuffing right over here. It got wet a little bit, so it probably just needs to be cleaned real nice. You can see some dripping in all right here. Nothing crazy, it just needs to be cleaned up. Overall, this is not too bad of a panel. I would definitely say it can be an upgrade for anyone that has any like scuffs or cuts or stuff like that. Looks like all of your padding inside of the brackets here are all good. Don't see any major cracking. We get a free spider. So I don't see any cracking in the foam, which is normally what you end up finding if you get a wrecked car or something. Yeah, that's just overlay, nothing crazy. So there you go. It's a pretty nice driver left-hand drive, and that was a driver right-hand drive. If you ever have seats out of your car and the brackets are still on them, do not let your friends sit in them. If anything, put something in them. Make sure it's not something too heavy that'll end up dimpling the seat, because that's also a big no-no if you leave your seats in your car for too long. This one actually has a couple dimples in it. You see right there, from things sitting in someone will leave parts in their car. Maybe if you see, that's a big thing I hate seeing when I go to a shop. If I see parts sitting in one of the seats because they're just trying to keep the car contained. I understand there's limited space in your shops, but it starts ruining these seats. They got to get reupholstered. So make sure you know if it's going to a shop, if it needs to be reupholstered, cool, they can do whatever they want. You're on redo the seat anyway. But if you're trying to save your seats, either remove them and keep them at your house so they have a little bit of floor space, put down a blanket for them to put their stuff, because they're limited on space. They're trying to make it happen. I don't know who that's a PSA for, but either way, take care of your seats. Don't let people sit in them in the garage when they're out, because this will tin can off. It'll basically bend straight up, and then you'll be sitting on nothing real quick. So this post right here is supposed to protect it from that a little bit, but I've already had a couple break over time just from friends not realizing it. Maybe it was sitting wonky. Anyway, that's just a little PSA. Hopefully these pieces stay on for you and you don't have that problem. Seat for seat. Go back to actual business, back from the PSA. Seat for seat, we got some dimples. This is a usable seat. We do normally push on them a little bit to make sure that these seams don't just, the first time you sit on them, they don't just split on you, because that would be terrible. So overall, this seat's actually decent. It's obviously a used seat. It's not perfect. If someone wanted to redo it, they could. But I would say this is a seat. There's nothing from it that keeps you from putting in your car if you don't have one. We're missing a plastic here. The floor is screechy. I'm sure that sounded great. If it sounds terrible, I'll just beep it like I was cussing. So even your clips right here are good. So flip around. Yeah, that's a nice seat. Looks like it was leaning on something. We'll rub that pretty nice before we let it go, but that might be the worst spot on the whole thing. We have a Bride right-hand drive driver's seat. It does rub the door a little bit. It is padding. Someone put it in their car. They weren't too much of a fan of how hard they had to close the door. It was a really nice car, so no complaints. I took back the refund, not even a problem. But this one already has Bride seat rails on it. They are rails, so it can go in and out. This is a Bride Ergo 2. The only things really to note on this is right here in the bolster, there's some little dimples from just people getting in and out and just flicking. It just flicks it and breaks up the padding in here. Otherwise, this thing could be cleaned up real nice. He didn't clean it yet. He just installed it. So it needs some cleaning in this area from where you can see where the seatbelt came across. But otherwise, pretty decent seat. Not sure where I got a carriage bolt from. They're not good for tires. So we got some motors. We'll have to test these. They're in very rough shape. This is going to be for someone that's just trying to get their fans working until they do a big upgrade. I don't suggest keeping these for anyone, but at the same time, this one actually has a broken tab on it. So this motor is more or less botched. This will probably just go in the garbage. And then this one still has tabs on it. So if it still spins, we'll test it, make sure it works. But for the most part, these aren't high-end products. This is just something for someone that just needs to get their motors working until they can get to the next step. Couple of fan blades. Looks like this one caught something at one point right there. Again, Oh, this one's actually broken right here. This one's another piece of trash. It happens. This is just things you buy a lot and neither person's really looking at the pile. They're just kind of accounting for things and moving forward. So I don't take it personally. We're both just trying to make a deal happen. So it happens though. A little crack right there. So this will go in the garbage. This one, on the other hand, we just make sure we do a little jag on them all so we know we're not sending you just something brittle, because there is a chance that it's already brittle and it just looks intact and then just falls apart. But this one looks good. Off the top of my head, I don't remember which fan this is, but it's one of them. I don't know where this zip tie is from. It says RX-8 on it. So looks like this was an RX-8 dismantler. So Nordstrom Automotive. Thanks, guys, from South Dakota. Wow, that came far. 1.3 meter, manual transmission. Look at all that stuff. Anyway, RX-8 fans. So just got to double check that they work. But everyone knows that's a good upgrade. Everyone goes for that. I believe JDM downpipe. Not too much to say about it. Check all the edges there. Make sure we're not too bad. And that's going to make that glove nasty. Anyway, JDM downpipe. This is another JDM downpipe, but this one, I believe I was told, is a little bit more special. I'll let you guys be the expert because I don't know off the top of my head. I'm wanting to say it was a fairly nice brand, a little bit nicer version. I have at least one person I know will jump in the comments for me and tell me. So there's the downpipe side. There's the twin side. Pretty decent. So we're going to blast through these last few parts. We're running out of battery power. Real live, real world. Brake lines. That's all you need to know. We have 2 steering racks here. I'll move the camera in a second to show those. Axle. We have, I believe, left-hand drive steering rack. I don't see any major rust, so I'm assuming that we're in pretty good shape. I don't see any leaking. The boots don't have a whole bunch of nastiness. So we'll probably list this. We'll probably take the brackets off, list them separately. We'll take the steering column off, we'll list that separately, unless someone gets to us before we list it, which will probably happen. Then we have a right-hand drive steering rack. You can see it go in the complete opposite direction. So it's already missing its brackets. The tie rod ends, I normally don't really care to resell. I normally expect people to get new ones, but this one feels fine. Just sitting pretty good. Anyway, steering rack, everything's here. This one's missing whatever hose goes here. Off the top of my head, I think it's one of the power steering major hoses, but off the top of my head, I'm not in too sure about it. Looks like this one has an extra ground wire for some reason. Okay, that's a separate product. That's a ground wire. We're gonna turn this way. And now you have a front bumper support, a pair of fog lights, OEM 9395 fog lights. Looks like the whole entire assembly's here. So those are pretty nice. And then last but not least, I'm sure at least one person stayed till the end of the video to see this, Shine Auto Pro RE diffuser, or Pro RE style diffuser. They do their own thing. It has a center vortex generators. It has the carbon fiber side mounts over there. There is a couple scuffs and breaks in it. Right here, you can see some cracking right here. There's a little scuff here. There's a little scuff here. It's not perfect. You got some scuffing here. But overall, for something that goes up underneath your car, it's in pretty decent shape.